Call me a hater, but Slim Kim's video about how she's so happy she's skinny did bother me. And I think it is weird. I also find it so interesting that she felt comfortable making this video after the election, because there is a correlation. What we're going to start to see is so many people clinging on to whatever perception of privilege that they have as a means of social advancement. But back to Slim Kim. She knows what she was trying to say. You know what she was trying to say. We all understand what she was trying to say. And I at least wish that y'all would be comfortable and stand on it and stop trying to make it seem like we're just taking it the wrong way. Because the reality is, she's only happy to be skinny and, thinks about being skinny all day is because she believes that there's some perception, some privilege that's attached to her skinniness. And whenever someone tries to use privilege as an example, with me at least, the question that I always ask is, where in your life can you show me the benefit of this privilege? What have you accomplished as a result of this privilege? Anyways, that's just how I feel. If you are happy that you're skinny and you feel, and that's all that you think about, and you get to have a better existence on earth with your skinniness, then I guess go for it. Enjoy.
I don't know why it's so hard for some people to understand that a lot of skinny girls like being skinny, like me. I stand at 6'2" and I'm around 136, 140 pounds. So I'm pretty slim for my height. And I've always loved being skinny. I used to be a model. I don't know why I stopped, but I used to model. But I just genuinely love being skinny, and it's so hard for people to comprehend that. I was in the weight room at my school one time, and one of the girls I know, I was working out, because even though I'm skinny, I got muscles. I run track, so I got 6-pack. My thighs are really big, they're muscular and everything. I got a little booty going on, but it's muscular, from track. So everything I have is muscles. And I was in the weight room and I was working out or whatever, and she was like, "Oh, do you want to do these workouts with me to get that body for the summer?" She was gonna do some chest workouts, I guess that grow your boobs, and these things that grow your butt. And I was like, "No, I'm good." And she was just like, why don't want that body for the summer, girl? And I'm just like, this body is fine enough. I weigh 136. What do I need to change my body for the summer for? This is already bikini body. She looked so puzzled. She didn't understand why I didn't want to work out to make my butt humongous and my boobs gigantic. And I was trying to explain to her, I like being skinny. I feel I don't see why people don't understand that most skinny girls like being skinny. I was walking down the street and a doctor from Miami came and told me they offered me a free BBL. I wouldn't accept it because I like being skinny. I don't want to have a Coke body figure, even though it's beautiful. It's really beautiful, but I don't want it. It looks good on you, but I don't want it on me. And this isn't bashing any of the women who have a natural BBL, or bashing any of the women who have a BBL. This isn't bashing any of them. I just don't want to look the same. I don't want to look like everybody. Everybody wants to get BBLs. Everybody wants to get this done. Everybody want to have an hourglass body. I don't want to look like everybody else. And I feel if God wanted me to look like that, he would have made me like that. If he wanted me to have a Coke bottle figure or an hourglass body, he would have gave me that. But he didn't. So therefore, I don't want it. Why would I want something that wasn't given to me? Oftentimes when girls want BBLs, it's because they see other females around them built like that. Because if there was no one on this earth built like an hourglass, nobody would be thinking, "Oh, I want to be built like that," because you don't got nobody representing it in front of you. I just don't know why it's so hard for people to understand that I like being skinny, or some skinny girls like being skinny. We don't want to go to the gym and gain a bunch of weight or make our butts humongous and no. And people grabbing my wrist and saying I'm small is no longer an insult to me. It used to be an insult because it's people used to grab my wrist and tell me that I need to start eating, and I want to look back at them and be like, well, you need to stop, but I never did. But no, it's no longer an insult to me. I take it as a compliment because it's thank you. But yeah, I love being skinny. I like being slim.
Also, there's this topic going around on TikTok, and it's all about, for Black women, this idea that Black women cannot just be skinny and we're shamed for being skinny. I've always thought this. I found a lot of different videos and I'm compiling them here, but I want to hear your thoughts. My experience has been, I've never been super skinny. Well, okay, I'm lying. When I was really young, I was skinny, and then I went through my growth spurt and got, I guess, slim. But I've never been extremely overweight, right? I've always been within my BMI normally. And then there were points in time, in high school, where I got really skinny, I was, I don't know, size 2. And then I would fluctuate when I went to college. So I've experienced, having a little bit more weight and then being pretty skinny. I've also felt the, feedback from family members where like, you need to eat more, you don't eat anything. So I've had those different experiences where family and friends and just people I'm around, being a Black girl, I'm seen as skinny and there's a problem with that. But when I'm around white people or just any other group, it's normal. Like I look good, they're like, yeah, or I just look normal, right? So I do have this question for y'all. Let me know what y'all think about the videos and just women sharing their experiences. I don't think this is highlighted enough. And I also have to note that this is, for my view, stemmed from Lizzo losing weight. And I think she looks amazing. Lizzo looks great. I'm so happy for her. I think anyone that is losing weight for their health, hands down, that's great for them. I think it also can help with your mental. But people are shaming Lizzo and also Ice Spice because they have lost weight. So let me know what y'all think. Personally, I think it's wrong. I don't understand why we've always had this kind of praise for being BBW and bigger. I think it's great, love your body, but don't put down someone that's healthy or at their healthy weight and uplift people that are not at a healthy weight or, whatever the weight is for them, where they feel good, that happens to be a bigger body. Well, why do we have to shame a skinnier body or a smaller body just to uplift a bigger body? Because in other cultures, the opposite happens. And people don't like that. People don't like when other communities shame bigger women, right? So why is it in the Black community that we're shaming women with smaller bodies?
Skinny never went out of style. It's never going to go out of style. Having a nice has always been a thing. Because even though if the girls are skinny, let me tell you what, she's not up and down skinny. There's a certain skinny that they're talking about. It's that Victoria's Secret model skinny where they skinny, but they still got them hips and that little bubble in the back. Now, I will say as far as the extremely big, extremely small waist, I never liked that. When I went and got my BB, it was never to have that. I wanted that little, that hourglass shape. The hourglass shape will never go out of style.
At one point, the girls was getting the to where you could put like a cup on it.
Yeah.
Like it was like
yeah.
a shelf. I think that has gone out of style. And I think people don't want to necessarily walk around looking like that anymore.
Yeah.
So now everybody is getting their shots removed. Everybody is getting their BBLs. What is it called? Reduced, because nobody wants that look anymore. At one point, that's what a lot of people were trying to attain. I don't understand why you would want to walk in a room and that's the first thing everybody is looking at. It
looks crazy.
We all have nice, and they're big, but they're not like distracting to where it's like, oh my God. It'd be some girls, and I have a big, they walk by and I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah, it's like a museum.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
My favorite thing to be is skinny. And I fear you cannot say that out loud, but it is my favorite thing to be, and it is my favorite fear to not be. And this is just for me personally. This is all personal to me. But I just wanted to say it out loud because honestly, it's all I think about. It's all I think about. Okay.
No tea, no shade, but I know exactly what SlimKim meant. This has come from somebody who's been skinny their whole life, been bullied for being skinny, 100 pounds soaking wet their whole life, and tried everything in the book to gain weight. I'm talking about I used to force myself to drink 3 Ensures a day until I threw up. I tried a pediment, whatever you want to call it. All the weight gain masses, the putting peanut butter in my smoothies, everything in the book, and I still can't gain weight, and I'm cool with that. I had to learn myself for just being slim as hell. So I know what she mean, but it was all about wordplay. But there's nothing wrong with self-confidence, because let's be honest, if a plus size girly came up here and said the same thing, that I love being plus size, I love my size, and I wouldn't want to wish to be anything smaller than what I am, y'all would have all been gassing her up. Nobody would have been clocking her tea. But for some reason, anytime a skinny girl wants to love herself, y'all make it seem like it's an issue, like skinny girls can't get body shamed. Because I grew up hearing my whole life, why is your wrist so small? Why don't you be eating? You're borderline underweight. I've been called Slim Jim, Cinnamon Sticks, Cinnamon, Twig, you fucking name it. I feel like the only people that's getting offended is the people that don't love themselves. If the shoe don't fit, don't fucking force your big ass feet into it. Y'all could have saw the post and keep scrolling. Why are you making it about you like she was trying to hate on plus size girlies? I don't think it gave that at all, but let me shut up.
I don't think a lot of you guys are looking at SlimKim's statement about being skinny through a black lens, because being skinny in the black community is not like the highest beauty standard. It's always, shorter average women who are thick. That has always been the beauty standard for us. I am 5'8". I am skinny. I think the last time I weighed myself, I was like 135 pounds. My shoulders are a little bit wider. I don't really have that waist thing going on, and my hips are just non-existent. It really wasn't until this year where I finally came to terms with the fact that I am not going to be thick. I've always wanted to be thick. My entire family is thick, gorgeous, voluptuous bodies, and that's just not me. But I can still love myself for the way I am. I don't know what her intent was with that video because it was so vague. But yeah, I just think that we really need to analyze that aspect of being skinny within our own beauty standard.
The collective outcry on this app when SlimKim came out and said what most fat people know that many skinny people think is just indicative that we are not mentally prepared for the shift of conservatism that is happening in this country. The rise in body fascism, the narrowing down of what is seen as beautiful or what is seen as an acceptable way to look has been happening for some time now. If I'm being real, it started with the deer versus doe eyes versus siren eyes versus dark feminine versus all of that. It's a pipeline. Do you have cat face or deer face turned into let's turn our faces to the side and analyze the slopes of our noses like fucking eugenicists? And I think that because we are so used to seeing the alt-right pipeline as marketed towards men, it's more difficult to recognize and understand when it's being marketed towards us in beauty spaces. It's not a coincidence that all of a sudden skinny people are coming out and declaring that they love being skinny. It is not a coincidence that brands that formerly claimed to care about diversity or whatever are rolling back on their darker skin tone. People are now openly saying the R slur on social media again like it's normal. All of a sudden it's become accepted to declare on this app that you don't care about Palestinian people and their genocide. As we scroll and consume and even participate in social media, we need to be engaging in critical thought. Media literacy is dead. Can we revive it, please?
So it's a creator on here, and her name is SlimKim, and she made a video talking about how she loves being skinny bad. Like, she needs it. And there's a lot of discourse going on. Depending on what side of TikTok you're on, there's a lot of discourse about, whether what she said was right, what she said was fair. Like people have a bunch of opinions on it. And I just want to say, child, don't let that mental cage catch you like a rat on the highway, okay? Don't let that mental cage, let me say it again, catch you like a rat on the highway. She can have her feelings, right? That's has nothing to do with me. In fact, I think that there's nothing that she's saying that is revolutionary, right? Being skinny comes with privileges in society. Being white comes with privileges in society. Being racially ambiguous comes with privileges in society. We know this, we are aware. Stop letting that cage entrap you. We know it. You know the physical body that you are in. You see the physical space that you take up. Focus on that. Focus on that. Focus on being in that space. Focus on looking at your body, being content with your body, being appreciative of your body, and choosing to love it every single day. Find something about yourself that you like, even just one thing to start with, and then go from there. To continuously keep looking around talking about how trying to find the mold that you have to fit in order to be a functioning member of society, in order to be an appreciative, like, I need us to not do this. I need us to not do this, because how we are walking into cages, mental cages, and not, you can see it, but you're not seeing it. Or am I making sense? Like, please, her feelings, her wants, her desires, they are, I'm sure, justified by her life experience, by society. Okay, let's not act like there's privilege in many realms and circles. Like, please, I don't even have time to break it down. I'm not even here to talk about all of the vocabulary I can pull out to discuss the systems of oppression. No, I'm literally just here to say, let what she said be what she said. It doesn't have to shift anything about how you view yourself and how you value yourself. It shouldn't, actually. I'm here to yell at you and tell you that it should not. It should not. I understand and recognize that there are systems in place to hurt, oppress, deny service to people who are not a size zero. Like, I understand that. I fully understand that. Still, I'm saying, choose to love yourself. Choose to block out noise that feels like it'll be detrimental to your mental health, how you sustain your body. Girl, Make a choice, make a choice, make a choice. Especially if you've grown, make a choice. It's not everyday discourse. It's not every day you have to be, let in. And she can have her feelings. I truly believe that if that is what she desires, me personally, every day I wake up and I want to be a stallion. I am, thankfully. But I want to be a stallion and say, oh, thick and fine, like wine. But that's me. And there's nothing that an outside force can come and tell me about my body because I have made a choice to actively love it, to actively appreciate it, to see the value. So you can't tell me shit. And I encourage you to feel the same about yourself. Please. Watch a queen, yeah, kids. Please. Do you realize that your body is not a trend? Oh, your body is not a trend. That is the physical space that you are going to be in until the day that you die. Learn to love it, ho. Or at least appreciate her. Have something unshakable about you. I'm being so deadly serious. Stop letting trends and things that are coming in, BBL this, skinny body that, stop letting that permeate into you to the point where it's shaking you. You have nothing to stand on. Can you have some like, what is the word for that? Girl, just be unshakable. What does it matter what is trending? Aren't you the shit regardless? Right.
I was so skinny that my childhood nickname used to be Toothpick, and it made me extremely insecure. But as I got older and became an adult, I learned to like my body and to accept my body for what it is. So why would it be a problem if a smaller woman was to come on this app and say, I like being skinny or I like my body? How come that is not body positivity, but people are looking at that as being weird and trying to label it as being fat phobic? And I watched the video and she said that she liked being skinny. She didn't say that everyone should be skinny, everyone should go to the gym. So I'm not understanding why people are bringing fat phobia in the conversation when fat phobia wasn't in the conversation to begin with. I do feel like it's a double standard because as a smaller woman, if I was to say I like being skinny, I like my body, everybody be like, whoa, pump your brakes, you can't be fat phobic. I wasn't being fat phobic to begin with. I was just telling you that I like my body. I do feel like some people are intentionally trying to misunderstand the conversation and create a different narrative because the video I saw, me personally, I don't think she was being weird at all. I don't think she was trying to offend anyone, and I didn't hear anything that she said that could have been fat phobic. So again, I'm not understanding why fat phobia is being brought into this conversation. I believe a lot of people are projecting, but that's a conversation for another day.
Make no mistake, one of the reasons heroin chic style thinness is back in isn't just because of eugenics. It is largely because of eugenics in response to the pandemic, but it is also because the billionaire ruling class is prepping the people, the culture, society, the zeitgeist for forced austerity. Like, they're making sure skinny is going to be back in as chic because you're going to have to be skinny when you can't afford to feed yourself. Like, fashion has the ear of the billionaire, and they see from their kind of purview how large of a wealth transfer we just had in the last 5 years, an atrocious wealth transfer to the billionaire class. They literally doubled their wealth on the backs of us, the poor, who are only getting poorer in a more and more expensive world. Part of the reason they want you to think thin is in is so that when your reflection is getting smaller in the mirror, you're not concerned about why you're not feeding yourself 3 times a day. Not because you wouldn't want to eat, but because you can't afford that much fucking food. Like, nothing tastes as good as skinny feels is gonna have a whole new meaning when the reason you are skinny is because you cannot afford to feed yourself the way that you usually would. Because your 3 meals a day, your, amino acids, your omega fats, your salmon. We all have a little salmon moment. Maybe your steak. If you're a lamb girl like me, maybe your lamb. You don't have access to that anymore. It's too expensive and you're too poor. And you can't bridge that gap. Or, because of deregulation, all of that has been tainted too much in the food supply for you to trust it. So you're not consuming it. Or it's been pulled from the food supply because there's no one regulating the supply. The point is, they know that they are about to push you into a further economic depression. And people should not recognize that early. That's always their goal. They want you to not realize it's happening until it's too late. And this is one of the signs. Needing everybody to be thin again is because they will literally make you thin through poverty. You will not be able to feed yourself. They will have you damn near malnourished for profit. Like, every culture has the belief that a plump body means that you are fertile, that you are healthy, but mostly because it meant that you had access to food. They cannot divorce food from its class connotations. Maybe 20 years ago, being skinny was rich. Now, being skinny is about to be poor, but they want you to think it makes you look rich. Because if you get enough compliments at the club, at the lounge, at brunch, on the street, maybe you won't think about the fact that this is happening because you're involuntarily going hungry. Just think about it. Just think about it.
As somebody who grew up fat and then got skinny and now I'm just mid-sized, I definitely understand the power of being skinny. Like, I can see how somebody would never ever want to be fat again, right? But one thing I've learned from being skinny and being mid-sized again is that when you really got a lethal face card, you don't need to be skinny. Skinny is for average looking hoes, right? If you just got a regular mug, then yeah, you need to be skinny. When you average looking, being skinny your only trump card, right? But when you got a killer mug, right? When that face card knock folks out no matter what you got on, you don't need to be skinny. If you go into a store with nothing on, looking beat up bum, and people still staring at your face, like people are still mesmerized when you walk by, you don't need to be skinny. Being thin is just a single part of the beauty standard. But when you are truly beautiful, being skinny is just a plus, you know? Just like, oh, people are like, oh, she got a nice body, but that face though? People wage wars over faces like that. You know what I mean? Truly beautiful people do not need to be real thin. They don't. They just don't. I'm not saying they could just be big as fuck, but they definitely don't have to be worried about being skinny. It can definitely be mid to slightly thicker. They can. The face card gonna trump the body card every time if it's like that. I'd rather be big with a killer mug than skinny with an average face. Any day. Any day. True beauty has nothing to do with physique, right? The weight standard for women changes throughout the ages. But that face card, beauty, the golden ratio, that don't go away. That's forever. People know true beauty when they see it, and it don't have nothing to do with size. Mind you, I used to be obsessed with being thin. Like, I get it. To an extent, I'm still kind of obsessed with making sure my body is right. But over the last 2 years, I was gaining weight, and I didn't even notice because my face card was still killing hoes. My face card was still carrying me through life. And because I was young, like when I was young, I was fat, and it just don't hit the same when you young. People don't understand true beauty in middle school and elementary school. But once you hit 18, everybody know what true beauty is. They know a beautiful mug when they see one. So I didn't even know I was gaining weight. My mug was just carrying me through life.
People saying that BBLs is retired is kind of offensive to the women that were always naturally built like this, and then y'all went and got bodies built like us, and now we're out of style. I just think that's so crazy and disrespectful.